Hey everybody, it is Justin, your guide into the other side. I know a lot of you have been asking, how do I even get started in Otherside? And I know I've covered I've covered a couple of those questions like, what kind of other deed is best for me? What can I do in Legends of the Mara? And so on and so forth. This video, I kind of want to cover questions like, what are Maras? Just kind of like an overall comprehensive guide on, everything we know about vessels and Kodamaras and how to do all that evolution stuff, blah blah blah. So we'll just jump right in and just take a look at Legends of the Mara and just see what we can glean in terms of like what is a vessel, what are these things that we need in order to play the game. So let's get started. So inside of Legends of the Mara, we can kind of see with the changing of the seasons, shades find their vessels and a crop of new Mara erupts into Otherside. So we can kind of see that this is gonna Legends of the Mara will just kind of open up with this event where shades drop to your vessels on the other side. So it just keeps going down. So the vessels descend. So the vessel shower is sacred to Kodas. One vessel will fall upon every other deed. So this really feels like a what's it called? Like comets or comet shower, but pretty cool thus far. We can kind of see this coda. We can kind of see this, little comic thing here. So shades and vessels. So during the shower, the glowing obelisk wakes the shades. These spirits glide across the landscape, each one claiming a vessel for shelter. Some vessels are more hospitable than others, and those that reject their shelter seekers and rupture can become corrupted. Handle them with extreme caution. So it seems like we'll have a tiny bit of RNG where some of these vessels will become corrupted. So I have a feeling we're going to have some interesting Kodas and Kodamaras. Hopefully we can try to get one of those. But you never know. We'll see. So it keeps going down. We can see these other glyphs. We see a coda, and we can see our, trusty. Gosh, I can't remember for the life of me. But anyways, let's keep going down. Kind of see, hey, there are three kinds of vessels: enchanters, farmers, and hunters. I'm sure you're all acquainted with each of these and what they do. But if not, we'll go ahead and just kind of cover it right now. So the Mara Hatch. So a Mara's abilities derive from its vessel type. So if you have an enchanter, it's going to graph buffs and bonuses. We don't necessarily know like what kind. I would assume it pertains to farming or it pertains to fighting the Shattered. So if you were to force me to like kind of speculate what the enchanter's buffs and stuff do, I would say maybe it increases the quantity or speed of your farmers. And then with regards to hunters, maybe it enchants the maybe damage types or your attack power, or outside of attack, maybe defense, or even maybe healing. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So again, outside of enchanters and my speculation, we know for sure that farmers will harvest fragments from other deeds, as well as resources. They don't say it here, but it's kind of implied. So, and then we have hunters. So these are critical to fending off violent threats to other deeds, and obviously hunters will fight the Shattered in the blog as well, mentioned in the gaming blog. But again, these are going to be able to evolve over time. So we'll just go take a look at what that process is. So first of all, we have the Odiac. So Mara evolution is tied to a celestial coordinate system. So the Odiac. So the Odiac is divided into seasons. So the first season is the creation season, and this is going to be the season that is going to start in the summer. And then we have evolution, afterlife, and abyss. And for when these seasons come into play, I'm not sure. We don't have any dates. We only know that season 1 creation is going to come in the summer. And if we scroll down, we can see this is the Odiac here. We can kind of see a bunny leaf, a Tyrannosaurus thing with 9 eyes, and we have a lion with a blockhead lion and a sea koala. and a sunflower gecko thing. I don't know. This seems pretty cool. Maybe it relates to what your Kodamara can look like. I don't know. I mean, that looks pretty blocky. Seems pretty interesting. I'm not sure how this constellation will work, but we'll have to wait and see. So each season corresponds to 5 Otherside constellations. So, I mean, there's 5 seasons. There's 5 constellations and only 4 seasons. So I'm not sure how that lines up. Maybe someone can explain that better to me in the comments. But I have no idea. So we'll keep going. So seasonal catalyst. So when a Mara ingests a seasonal catalyst, it evolves into a Kodamara that takes on traits possessed by that catalyst. Okay, so nearly all catalysts possess traits that belong to one or another of the season's constellations. So seasonal catalysts are related to constellations, season's constellation. Interesting. So only the most uncommon kind of catalysts, the hybrid catalysts, possess traits that belong to 2. What does that mean? So we scroll up and kind of see, okay, we have 5 different kinds of constellations. And when you get a creation catalyst, it will take on a trait from its constellations. So does that mean there's different constellations per season? Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a speculation. Maybe I'm extrapolating a little bit. But only the most uncommon kinds of catalysts, the hybrid. I'm curious about the hybrid catalysts. They possess traits that belong to 2, so maybe hybrid builds. Interesting. So we can kind of see here that we have a silhouetted scroll bar of, well, I can't necessarily scroll it, but we can kind of see aesthetically what these Season 1 creation catalysts kind of look like. And they look really buggy. They look like insects. This one looks like a caterpillar larva thing. This one looks like a bug with an elephant trunk. This one looks like a rock, probably. This one looks like a larva worm thing. I don't know what this one looks like. This one looks like a box. And this one looks like a booger with a face on it. Anyways, maybe that affects like how your coda will look. I guess we'll keep looking. So aesthetically, they look very buggy, or they're very varied in how they look. But we'll keep going. So another thing that can affect your Mara in its evolution into a Kodamara is your sediment fragments that you feed it. So fragments can be fed to Maras and are derived from an other deed's sediment. So Genesis Kodas and Farmer Maras can be attached to other deeds to harvest them. So every land is useful because you can farm these and evolve your Mara. So even if your land doesn't necessarily have resources on them, it's still useful because you can get these sediment fragments provided you have a farmer to farm them. So a Kodamara's traits are affected by the fragments it ingests or eats as a Mara. So what those will necessarily be, what the traits will be, I'm not sure, but I would assume it kind of relates to maybe it will determine what your Kodamara will look like. Maybe it will impact how your Kodamara plays the game. We'll see. But I would assume, and this is speculation, so take it for a grain of salt. I would think that Chemical Goo and Biogenic Swamp have more powerful effects if you feed them to your Kodamara. Your Mara to evolve into a Kodamara. That would make sense to me. But maybe all these sediments just do different things, or maybe have different aesthetics, but we don't know for sure. I'm just kind of speculating, so it's always fun to do things like that. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are looking to, find and discover those recipes. So let's keep scrolling down. We can kind of see the Kodamara collection here and what they are. So, excuse me. So beginning with the creation season, the Kodamara reveal themselves. So how will yours transform? So if we actually take a look, we can kind of see, hey, Um, Dang. Okay, that one looks interesting. This one looks very foresty, leafy. This one looks pretty blocky here. I mean, you can see the block ears and stuff like that. This one looks like it has the element pyrite in it, or I would have to find it in the Otherside wiki. This one looks dragony. This one right here looks very. This one here, it looks very watery, underwater tier. But anyways, I'm sure all of these will have different aesthetics that will appeal to different people. But we only have these silhouettes to kind of speculate right now. So let's just keep scrolling down. Okay, of course we have the Gucci Reeve relics, so we kind of skip that. That's just cosmetic tier. And then we also have this thing here. I'm assuming this is either the corrupted shades or this is the shattered. I'm assuming it's the shattered. So, you know, we'll just scroll up to the we'll just scroll up to the top here. So I'm gonna tab to the Maras and Kodamaras, so just Mara evolution as a whole. So if you're asking yourself, hey, I want to spec for a specific type of aesthetic, a specific type of recipe, or I want to discover specific things about Kodas and how to make them into the best Kodamara that I can possibly make, then I would highly suggest that we take a look at the gaming blog. So this is actually the Legends of Mara gaming team blog. This is updated every once in a while. Usually, I know everybody comes here every Tuesday looking for an update, but if we actually read here, I mean, I already kind of covered it. A nested vessel will eventually evolve into a Mara, which can be assigned to an other deed while your next vessel nests. So you'll have an opportunity to combine your Mara with a seasonal catalyst and a sediment fragment to evolve it into a Kodamara. And obviously, they're more capable helpers to defend the other side. But they're nerfed compared to a Koda, because Kodas are they're like 4 ETH right now. So I mean, makes sense from a gaming perspective. So the Kodamara collection is also part of the collector metagame. So how they look like, their trait rarity, and their game function are all influenced by your choices and how the community leverages the ingredients used to create them. So how you craft your Kodamara will be critical to how you use them in the game and how they look and how they play. So I know a lot of people are gonna have a really fun time figuring out what the best Kodamara is, but again, it's dependent. Your Mara is dependent on your vessel. You will need a catalyst, so the most rare and the best catalyst will be at the top of the leaderboard. Again, those hybrid catalysts that have dual traits from their constellations, and then we also have that ability to add that sediment tier to it as well. So that may affect aesthetics, that may affect game function, to eventually spit out the end game, the Kodamara. So again, there's going to be different types of Kodamaras. I'm assuming different types of traits. So again, if I'm just gonna go ahead and speculate, maybe damage types. I mean, if you're impacting the trait, the game function of your Kodamara, I would say for enchanters, you're probably affecting what kind of buffs they can get based on what you feed them. If it's affecting like farmers, it probably affects their affinity to the land. Maybe that's a speculation. Again, everything I'm saying is like a speculation, so it's don't take everything for as a. I don't know everything about the game. I'm just kind of using my imagination here. So, but I mean, sediments seem pretty important. Catalysts seem pretty important. And I mean, if you're modding your Mara into Kodamara, I would say like hunters, maybe it affects their damage output. Maybe it makes them stronger. Maybe it makes them more resistant to things. Etc., etc. So again, if you are looking to play the game, I mean, definitely, if you're looking to play the game at a high level, I definitely recommend to try to get to that top of the leaderboard, get those rewards and stuff like that. But hey, that's all we know so far. Everything about Kodas and not Kodas, but Maras, vessels, Maras, catalyst, sediment layers, and how all those like combine into a Kodamara. But again, you know, thanks for getting this far. I hope you found something, some type of insight, or found this information enlightening. But definitely, you can find me at the Otherside wiki. You can also find me at the Otherside official Discord server. But appreciate you getting this far. Definitely like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. But I'm signing off, and I'll see you next time. We'll see you around.